The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, and thank you so much for being here. We're going to get started in just about 1 minute. Let folks show up, and we'll be on our way. All right, so thank you everyone for being here. I'm first going to start with introducing myself. My name is Tanasia Henson. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her. I am the North Carolina campaign coordinator here with Reproaction, and you can find me on Twitter at DJDumpThem. So a little bit about Reproaction before we jump in. We lead bold action to increase access to abortion and advance reproductive justice. We are proud of our left flank analysis and are not in this fight to protect the past or maintain the status quo. We celebrate legal, accessible, and funded abortion as a great thing, and we embrace sex and sexuality, and we hold the right to parent and the right to raise children in safe and healthy communities as equally sacred in the struggle for dignity. So our agenda tonight, we're going to do introduction, which is already done. We're going to do a bit of grounding before we jump in, and then we're going to break down what FATE clinics are and what abortion pro-reversal is. And then I'm going to give you a little rundown of what is going on here in North Carolina. We're going to address some misconceptions. I'm going to show you guys some ways to take action locally, show some resources, and have a Q&A discussion at the end if there's any questions and if time permits. So for grounding, I want to start with saying that preparedness is key, and we have been calling out FATE clinics since our inception. And the goal of our time together is to make sure that you leave with the tools and frameworks to take action against FATE clinics in your community. So what are FATE clinics? You might have seen signs or billboards in community advertising free pregnancy tests or ultrasounds, like the ones you see here on the screen. And FATE clinics are also known as crisis pregnancy centers or crisis resource centers or pregnancy resource centers. And their main goal, or one of the big goals, is to mislead and shame people from seeking abortion care. There are over 2,700 in the United States, and they nationally outnumber real abortion clinics 4 to 1, but that can be much higher in certain regions. Some kinds have medical licenses, while the vast majority do not, even if they might appear to from the outside. And they often appear as a clinic with neutral sounding names and offering pregnancy tests and tactics that are used to get people in the door. So a big one is location. Often FATE clinics will situate themselves close to real clinics, or even colleges, universities, and housing. Another one is deceptive names. FATE clinics will use names like a woman's choice or options to make the clinic seem like it's real. And another way another tactic that FATE clinics use are using ads and geo-targeting. They will conduct online surveillance on people seeking abortion care and try to redirect them to FATE clinic ads instead. One marketing company was actually blocked in court from using geofencing technology that sent anti-abortion ads to people using their phones inside abortion clinics after having sold their services to 2 FATE clinic networks the year before. Another group uses internet marketing and search optimization to reach people searching for local abortion providers online. Often when someone searches abortion with their city or zip code, fake clinics are going to appear at the top through ads. Another tactic that is used is shame. Fake clinics may bring someone's faith, family, or junk science into the conversation to try and get them to change their mind about having an abortion. One clinic went as far as forcing people to sign a contract saying they would carry it to term and threatened legal action against the nearby abortion clinic if the person chose to seek services there. Another one is misinformation. They have been known to lie about gestational age, telling someone they have more time to decide or that they are past the legal limit in their state. They inflate the miscarriage rate, which may influence someone who is concerned about paying for an abortion to maybe wait it out. And it's important to note that the miscarriage rate is between 10 and 15%. They've also lied about what abortion procedures include, and spread lies and misinformation about the impact of abortion, including the false idea that abortion increases your chance of breast cancer, infertility, or substance abuse. One of the final tactics we'll talk about here is promises of resources and support. Fake clinics often don't just give away items donated to them. In many cases, fake clinics offer what is called mommy bucks as a part of their Earn While You Learn programs, where people seeking pregnancy or parenting items have to listen to brainwashing anti-abortion, anti-sex lessons to receive Christian ministry education to earn certificates they can use in exchange for a few packs of diapers or peanut butter or milk or something like that. And this vile, racist anti-abortion fake clinics operator, Abby Johnson, has revealed these services have an expiration date. She said herself, if I were to open a pregnancy center, I would not have pregnancy items past 6 months. Are we running a charity? Are we running a place where we want someone to become self-sufficient? Cut them off. There are plenty of stories of people going to a crisis pregnancy center and being lied to and harassed. And there are even stories of people who carry pregnancies to term because they were manipulated by the fake clinic staff who promised to help and then ignore it after birth. A big thing that not everybody knows is that fake clinics receive a lot of public funding. And they do receive private donations, but shocking amounts are subsidized by taxpayers. So for direct funding, an example can include the Texas Real Alternatives Program, where the state will reward grants directly to crisis pregnancy centers. And fake clinics offer classes and instruction manuals for their center operations to apply for government funding for various issues such as sexual violence prevention, sex education, and domestic violence prevention and counseling, which means actual professional services in those fields could go unfunded as fake clinics suck up that money. Another way they receive their public funding is through TANF dollars. This is temporary assistance for needy families. And in 7 states, including Indiana, Michigan, Missouri, North Dakota, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Texas, have allotted tens of millions of federal TANF dollars to fake clinics, which means money intended to go to hungry children and their families is being funneled into fake clinics. You might have seen license plates that say choose life. And in 32 states, you are able to get one of these license plates, and taxpayer money from the license plates goes towards fake clinics as well. And recently, we saw in 2020 states give funding to fake clinics through COVID aid relief, and during the previous presidential administration, there was 1.7 million reserved Title X funding to fake clinics as well. So right here we have an image of data from around 2010, and it shows you how much money is being spent from tax dollars on fake clinics. And I want to note that North Carolina is about 10 million here, and this says about since 2010. And right now, North Carolina is sitting in between Louisiana and Indiana. So they've increased their tax dollars to fake clinics. The impact fake clinics have on our communities is something that we might not always see, but it is important to recognize. Women of color, people experiencing poverty, and folks living in rural areas who often have less access and fewer options for healthcare generally are affected. And one fake clinic chain in particular called their outreach effort to women of color their urban initiative. People facing partner abuse or sexual violence are affected by fake clinics because survivors need access to unbiased help and resources, not shame and devaluation from incompetent staff who may not even be licensed medical providers. Young people are affected, and they may go to a school or may go to a school where fake clinics give sex ed classes, or may just go to a fake clinic not realizing that it's a sham. Fake clinics also negatively affect TANF recipients whose funding has been whittled down by fake clinics who are misusing that funding. So we're going to move on to talking about abortion pill reversal. Give me one moment to take a sip of water. So what does an abortion with pills look like? Oops. Often referred to as a medication abortion, there are two types, there are two pills you take. It is a combination of mifepristone, this is what is typically given at an appointment, and misoprostol, which is taken at home. And this is typically done up to 10 to 12 weeks, depending on the state laws and regulations. How does medication abortion work? Mifepristone initiates an abortion, while misoprostol expels the contents of the uterus. Abortion pill reversal is the false claim that flooding the body with progesterone, the pregnancy hormone, after someone takes mifepristone could help continue a pregnancy. Abortion pill reversal is unethical. There is no proof patients receive accurate, clear, and ethically provided consent before treatments through fake clinic networks or elsewhere in the reversal network. And the American Medical Association and American College for Obstetricians and Gynecologists has criticized abortion pill reversal and the laws that force doctors to counsel patients about it. Since 2015, several states have introduced, passed, and enacted dangerous legislation forcing doctors to tell patients about abortion pill reversal. After Governor Doug Burgum from North Dakota signed a so-called reversal bill into law of June 2019, the American Medical Association initiated a lawsuit to block the bill from taking effect. The idea of so-called abortion pill reversal is an attack on abortion rights, free speech for doctors who practice real medicine, and the dignity of all people who have decided to have an abortion. There is no proof that this speculative treatment proposed by anti-abortion activists actually works. The anti-abortion physician, Dr. George Delgado, is credited with developing the unproven theory of abortion pill reversal. His development of the regimen has amounted to a series of poorly designed, unethical treatments. His second study had no ethical oversight board approval, which is a requirement for medical research on humans. He's tried to run multiple studies, but studies were flawed in that they did not include a control group, and it's highly possible that some of the patients weren't fully aware they were being experimented on. Recently, researchers at the University of California, Davis conducted a study test to Delgado's claims. Unfortunately, the study had to be stopped after only 12 women had enrolled because 3 had been transported to the hospital for treatment for severe vaginal bleeding. And at that point, researchers decided that the risk of participation for the women was too great to continue the study, though it met other requirements for safety and ethical oversight. Doctors are supposed to do no harm and inform patients of all of their options, not provide them with coercive false information. Without regard for safety, abortion opponents have not bothered to put their theory of abortion pill reversal to accepted methods of scientific testing and review. Instead, they have experimented on people without fully informing them that they are subjects in an experiment, joining a troubling history in the United States of non-consensual medical experimentation, especially targeting people of color. It also reinforces the sexist idea that women and people with the capacity for pregnancy are indecisive and incapable of making decisions. The Turnaway study shows us that 95% of people who have had an abortion do not regret their decision. So what's going on here in North Carolina? I first want to start out by saying that abortion is legal in North Carolina as of right now. In North Carolina, we have 87 anti-abortion fake clinics and 14 abortion providers. 25 of these fake clinics advertise abortion pill reversal, and over 70% of the fake clinics in North Carolina are affiliated with national or international fake clinic chains. Of the $15 million in government funding allotted to anti-abortion fake clinics in the 2021-2022 budget, the majority of that money went to a Texas-based anti-abortion fake clinic chain. And Governor Roy Cooper's executive order protecting abortion providers and patients, especially while surrounding states continue to implement bans, means that North Carolina is now a state where many people will be coming. And it is crucial that there is information about fake clinics so people seeking care in the state are not misguided. We're going to go on to address some misconceptions and keep it going. So the first misconception people often have is fake clinics can help new parents. They cannot. While fake clinics offer free pregnancy testing, options counseling, and other services, it's not quite free when it comes to shame, misinformation, and religious ideology. Mentioned earlier that many products aren't free, and you often must go to earn while you learn programs. The bottom line is that fake clinics don't exist to give out free resources or support people with their pregnancies or children. Their primary goal is to prevent people from having abortions. Another misconception people have is that fake clinics can't be legal. Fake clinics are considered religious outreach and are protected under the First Amendment. Fake clinics actually hit the Supreme Court in 2018 in NIFLA versus Becerra. About the case a little bit, California passed the Reproductive Fact Act, requiring licensed clinics that provide certain services, including ultrasounds, pregnancy tests, and advice on birth control, to post information about affordable abortion and contraception services offered by the state. Unlicensed facilities that provided these services have to disclose their lack of medical certification. And a network of crisis pregnancy centers, including the National Institute of Family Life Advocates, NIFLA, sued in response, arguing that the government is violating the right to free speech, forcing them to promote abortion. The court's narrow 4-5 decision in favor of fake clinics was a setback. Another myth is that fake clinics are small mom and pop operations. Based on Reproaction's research, over 75% of fake clinic chains are fake clinics are affiliated with larger fake clinic networks. Fake clinics are highly litigious and well-funded, and affiliate networks do not provide resources and support, but also, excuse me, affiliate networks not only provide resources and support, but they also help with branding and marketing. So if a fake clinic is involved with one of the larger networks, they are being supported with a lot of money and a lot of expertise. And they can also help with lobbying at the local, state, or federal level. Another misconception is, isn't it medical malpractice to lie to patients? We know we mentioned many aren't subject to HIPAA regulations earlier, but most fake clinics are unlicensed, so they don't fall under medical board requirements. Licensed clinics still lie to patients, and patients still have the right to file a complaint with their state medical board. Another misconception is, if you're against fake clinics, you're anti-religious or anti-Christian. Many religious spiritual organizations respect the right to choose and are pro-choice because of their religious beliefs, not in spite of them. Furthermore, our country is founded on the idea that no individual will be persecuted for practicing their own religion, and no individual should be allowed to impose their religion on others. We shouldn't be legislating personal beliefs onto others. This balance is critical to affording religious freedom to every American. The idea that someone can refuse services, lie, or mislead others through their beliefs is contrary to American values. How can you tell if it's a fake clinic or a real clinic? One good tip-off is if ads or flyers emphasize how dangerous an abortion can be, it's probably a fake clinic. If a website has abortion information, but nothing about abortion services they provide, it's probably a fake clinic. If you call to ask for an abortion and they won't talk to you about abortion over the phone and instead urge you to come in, it is probably a fake clinic. So some more tips for identifying real clinics is to check the Google and Yelp reviews. Look for people talking about their experience at clinics. Often fake clinics have volunteers and others reviews praising their services. So be careful when you look and definitely read what people are saying. If they advertise abortion counseling without mentioning like what actually that counseling looks like. And if you see words like limited ultrasound, it may mean that it can be done by any unlicensed technician, and local anti-abortion groups and right-leaning groups such as Knights of Columbus will fund ultrasound machines for fake clinics. Another way you can check and see if who you're talking to is a fake clinic or a real clinic is to check out the Reproaction Fake Clinic database. It is a free open resource for anybody to use, and it's also downloadable as a PDF. So this knowledge can be accessed even if internet is not. And you can check your city or your zip code. You can also see if the fake clinics are offering abortion pill reversal or not. So we're going to jump into how to take action. This is definitely my favorite part. One way we can take action against fake clinics is with direct action. Get in the street safely, of course. Make sure you're following any state or city ordinances to protect you and the folks out there with you. Have supplies and lots of different people with different skills present to make sure that the direct action is more fulfilling than stressful. It also raises visibility and awareness of fake clinics in the community, and it is a powerful tool. Another way you can take action against fake clinics is to flyer. Here you see two pictures of an action done in Greensboro, North Carolina. We have a flyer here that was spread around town and put up on phone poles. And you can share these in coffee shops, on bulletin boards, college campuses, and take your time to put, information together, make it cool, and get it out there to people to make sure everyone knows what's going on. Another thing you can do is compile resources. Here in the corner, we have an image of a different part of the flyer in which you can see on the back there are resources to Carolina Abortion Fund, North Carolina Pro-Choice, and the Reproaction database as well. Compiling resources available in your community to distribute online through flyering, and think about resources pregnant people may need, including diapers, doula services, health insurance, and more. We can also have transformative conversations. Having one-on-one conversations with your loved ones can help raise awareness and educate folks in your community. I know when I started working at Reproaction, I made sure I was sharing resources and information with my loved ones so they could understand the work I do. And now I have family and friends sending me messages when they see news about fake clinics or find an article related to this work. And it's really exciting to know that, those small acts of just sharing information and having conversations can be more impactful than we think it is. So I'm going to share out some resources for you to check up on. So please keep up with the Bad Faith Medicine campaign. You can find it at reproaction.org/badfaithmedicine. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you need an abortion or want to find out where to get one, you can check out ineedanA.com. So now is the time. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. And if we don't have any questions, I'll just leave it on this page. Just so y'all know to stay in touch, see our beautiful graphic here, and the email you can email us at. Oh, I see a question. So one question is, how do we find out about donations to fake clinics? So the National Committee for Responsive Philanthropy recently released a report on philanthropic donations to fake clinics, and it's pretty shocking. I'd highly recommend checking that out. There's multi-millions, even billions going to the anti-abortion movement through fake clinics disguised as help for needy families, and we really need to fight back because they are not helping needy families. Thank you for that question. Is there any way to put pressure on legislatures in our state? That is a really great question. I know that there were individual representatives and senators who were very vocal about the budget that allotted 15 million at least. I think the best way to get involved with pressuring legislatures is to be open in your community about what's upsetting, know where the fake clinic is, and spread the word. And hopefully the legislatures will pick up on it, but it is difficult to be navigating a system that makes it hard for us to make sure the people in power are hearing the needs of their constituents. If you would like me to elaborate more on that question, please feel free to email me with more questions at reproaction@gmail.com, and we can talk more about that as well. Gonna give it one more moment for questions. I really appreciate everyone's time tonight and for your questions. It's been so great. And one more thing to add about putting pressure on legislatures is because a lot of people don't know about them, spreading the word also helps to educate policymakers. And they might not even know how scary they are. And so making sure that we're being clear and honest and consistent with disdain and frustration about fake clinics will hopefully make sure people in power know that we don't need them. And with that, it is 6:30. And we will give everyone their evening back. I'm so grateful for everyone who showed up tonight, for taking time to talk about this. And I hope that you have a lovely evening, and that we hopefully see a world where fake clinics aren't taking so much money. Have a lovely night, y'all.